Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Sunday, September 9th, 12:34 a.m. Mountain Time 2018. You're looking at the current European model for Hurricane Florence making landfall in southern North Carolina with Cat 3 winds at 134 miles per hour midday Thursday. The GFS model is showing Cat 1 strength hitting the Outer Banks early Friday morning. The models are varying, but they're narrowing it down to North Carolina. Somewhere in the central region here from the Outer Banks south is looking at Cat 1 to Cat 3 landfall based on the current models. Let's see what the mainstream has to say. Florence may track near Bermuda. U.S. East Coast, while it re-strengthens, this may strengthen up to Cat 4. And we're going to watch it closely. This is a deadly, dangerous storm. Not only are the winds going to be potentially damaging, but we're talking about heavy rainfall and flooding in already saturated conditions. I spoke to people on the ground on the East Coast, and it is still raining up in Philly, in the Delmarva. It is saturated. And if they're talking 10 to 20 more inches of rain, catastrophic flooding, loss of life and homes. We're going to be reporting on it. Here's Weed Trimmer and Hurricane Gordon, just to give you a little teaser. And that's what Gordon, tropical storm in the Gulf, looked like just weeks ago. Florence is forecast to re-strengthen to a hurricane and push close to Bermuda and the United States East Coast this week. Florence may evolve into a serious direct threat. We believe so, and North Carolina is ground zero. Florence is relatively small tropical system and is a small system, very vulnerable to both ideal and poor environmental conditions. Now, they're hoping that this will break up, and there is no indication that will occur. After forming near Cabo Verde Islands last weekend, Florence became the first Cat 4 hurricane of the 2018 Atlantic season as it entered a zone of low wind shear and sufficient warm waters last week. Now, guys, it's re-entering warm waters, and it should re-strengthen over the next 24 hours. We're going to be watching it closely. Let's come back to the models because they're pretty to look at. Let's just zoom this in and run it through. So I'm going to start it off Friday morning. Looks like 110, 12, 110-degree winds at landfall. Cat 1 storm making landfall Friday. And according to the GFS model, it's going to linger here at the Outer Banks and create havoc, come back in and make landfall again on Saturday. This could be a very devastating scenario here for the Outer Banks. This storm just sits here, literally, in this warm water for days. And days. Can you imagine 3 days of 100-mile-an-hour winds? 3 straight days. Day number 4. Absolutely insane. Let's come over to the European model and run it through for you. This is making landfall Thursday afternoon at Cat 3, Cat 4. Very powerful storm according to the European model. And here we are Thursday evening. Quickly moving inland, saturating the region. High winds coming inland, 60-mile-an-hour winds coming all the way into Greenville and Fayetteville. And then the system moving north through Friday. So an interesting scenario nonetheless is going to unfold. How this storm lingers is anyone's guess. We could be talking catastrophic flooding in the Delmarva Peninsula, Delaware, New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina. We could be talking a storm that lingers for days off the coast of Hatteras and dumps upwards of 50 inches of rain. It's anyone's guess, but we're showing you all the scenarios. Here's the current track. Southern North Carolina, according to the National Hurricane Center, is ground zero, and we believe central North Carolina will be the target. Now let's talk about the Delta fire continuing to spread. I-5 will remain closed. Yesterday it was at 22,000 acres. Today they're reporting 37,000 acres, almost doubling, still 0% contained. This is now approaching bigger than the size of the 416 fire here, and it is definitely choking out the sun, and it is growing. So we're going to be watching this closely. Yeah, we see you. Okay, I turned the blocker off. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, there we were. Record-breaking September cold hits northern Minnesota. The mercury is falling in northern Minnesota with cold air bringing in record-breaking cold. Not being reported by the mainstream, the National Weather Service says temperatures plunged below the freezing mark in several locations on Thursday. 28 degrees in International Falls, breaking a September 6th record of 31, crushing it. It was 29 in Hibbing, exceeding the bone-chilling low of 33 for the same date. Those are two lows that are crushed. Hardest hit was St. Louis County, community of Robinson, where it was 24 meager degrees, still in the middle of summer. The Weather Service says the temperatures across northern Minnesota will moderate through the weekend. Whew. Are you kidding me? And that's tonight's first boom. Information being hidden in plain sight. Let's talk about more truth. Shovels at the ready. It's that time of year, yeah, summer, where they won't forecast when it comes to snow along the foothills. We're talking up to 20 centimeters north of Grand Prairie, up to 30 centimeters in some regions. Now, they changed these colors from white to gray in 24 hours. Yesterday, this was white. Now they're making it not look like a lot of snow. This is a hell of a lot of snow in summer in the prairies. And let's check the GFS model. It is looking epic. Look at the amount of snow falling on Canada in the summer. 50% of Canada is going to be covered in snow by the second week of September. Some areas up to 20 centimeters. I'm sorry, 20 inches. This is the North American model. They're going to be buried up in the prairies. And the snow's coming into Montana and Utah and Wyoming and Colorado as we've been reporting on it. And it's still summer. Early winter freeze forecast to blast Europe. This is based on El Nino and biting winds and sub-zero temperatures threatening to plunge Europe into an early winter freeze. Based on historic documentation and the solar minimum we're entering. Grand solar minimum much? Let's check it out. Central European temperatures have been correlated by the Oppenheimer Ranch Project with the solar cycles. Yes, it's true. During the Maunder minimum, the temperatures dropped significantly and rapidly in central England. During the Dalton minimum, by cycle 5, the temperature was rapidly plummeting. During the centennial minimum, even more of a major downswing in temperatures for cycles 12 and 13 and 14. Look at the solar minimum here and this perturbation during solar max at cycle 20. Drop in temperature. And the central England temperatures are dropping off a cliff. Science, anyone? Snow closes some eastern Cape roads. Yeah, this is in Africa. Snow has closed parts of the Lutzenberg Pass between Middlesbrough and Graf Rene, and the Wapsenberg Pass between Cradock and Graf Rene on Saturday, Eastern Cape traffic spokesman said. Luckily, we closed the pass in good time so nobody could get stuck. Yes, they're getting stuck in Africa in the snow, Al. Cold awaits Chipolo Polo. Are you kidding me? This is Namibia. The country of Namibia. The extreme cold front dubbed Zintle, currently prevailing in Namibia, is bringing temperatures to sub-zero ahead of tomorrow's 2019 Cameroon Africa Cup of the Nations qualifier between Brave Warriors and Namibia. These guys are like, what the is going on? You better be ready. Cold sub-zero temperatures in Namibia. Southern Pakistan, second severe drought alert issued. On Friday, September 7th, the Pakistan Meteorological Department issued the second severe drought alert of the year. Due to less water in the Mangla Reservoir and minimal expected rainfall during the next 3 months, farmers are likely to face water shortages, and this is just a broken record. Seismic update. The Ring of Fire has measles. North America has chickenpox. And something big is about to kick off in Fiji. And we're waiting for a large 9 magnitude in the coming weeks. And it is on fire. Worldwide volcano news update. Popocatépetl, Dukono, Yasur, Sabancaya, Abico. Abico has a possible eruption today. Popo is erupting. Yasur, intermittent low-level eruption of ash. Dukono, volcanic ash advisory. Continuous emissions from Sabancaya, on and on. You check it out. Red tide still firmly entrenched along the southwest Florida coast. Now, if the global warming alarmist would stop trying to tax CO2 to save the planet and actually save the planet by stopping pollution from being dumped into our estuaries, killing manatees, mammals, crustaceans, and just making it disgusting in the Gulf of Mexico, then the world would be waking up to reality. Could you imagine? Can you imagine? I can't. As everyone sits on the shore here screaming about the red tide and global warming, no one cares about why the red tide is occurring. It's because of man-made pollution that is being dumped in epic proportions all over the ground and on your food and your crops, and it's flowing into the seaways and waterways and creating these toxic algal blooms. Has nothing to do with global warming. Man cannot affect the climate except locally. Do you have any idea how big the sun is? A drop in just 5 watts of energy from the sun would kill everything. 5 watts, everybody's dead. And yet they've duped 97% of the idiots that it's their fault. Pay your taxes. You brainwashed idiots. You're the zombies. Do you get it? Hey, if you didn't know, September is National Preparedness Month, and I made a video, a very important video that has more important information that you can share with all the sheeple and people that actually care and want to be prepared to maybe hear some popping noises and get some booms. This video could save lives, and it's up to you to do your own research and to delve into each of the documents contained within. Already one troll has given a thumbs down to the most vital dossier ever prepared by the Oppenheimer Ranch Project for the public for free. So go check it out. There'll be links below. Thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you weren't aware, there's nothing wrong with the polar bear populations. They're at all-time highs. Just like the Arctic ice is at 4-year highs. Are you ready? We love each and every one of you. Thank you for sharing this knowledge. Thank you to all of our Patreons, all of our one-time donors, and each and every one of you that just watches the video and likes it. And if you're a troll, thank you for watching. Be safe, everybody.